Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. Today is the 25th of September. We've received word from SBF. Apparently, he's trying to crawl his way back into the ecosystem, into the world, but I think the fallout that was caused due to his actions with his company and Alameda is going to be a bit of a long-lasting thing. So I'm not sure that SBF has got the tools to get himself back into the limelight again. It's going to be a hard push for him. In any case, we're going to look at that and a bunch of other articles related to cryptocurrencies, of course. But today, first things first, we're going to look at the markets. And the market is looking pretty good right now. Bitcoin with a dominance of 56%, Ethereum at 12%, market caps back above $4 trillion, $155 billion in trading volume. Rice AI is on the trending list with 121% pump, 81% on Quanto. Hemi, Stabler, Aster, like none of these coins are familiar to me. Bitcoin at $113,000. So how are we back up at 4 trillion? Ethereum hasn't even made that big of a push. Only 1.4% on Bitcoin, 0.1 on Ethereum. So where is this money going to? Apparently it's going to the likes of XRP. BNB has got a nice pump of 6.6% at $1,018. Solana $212. Cardano at 82 cents remains above 80 cents. That's good. 1.2% up on the 24 hours. Litecoin at $106. Toncoin $283. Polkadot above $4 at 1.2% pump. Monero $293. Quick look at the charts. Bitcoin is forming a daily green candle with a push towards the resistance of 0.382 on the fib. It looks like we may be getting that head and shoulder that somebody was talking about. There is a shoulder here, head, and then we may be seeing the formation of another shoulder with this green candle coming in. That could be something that we might actually see happening. We're forming higher lows, so that's good. We'll see what the next candle will bring us after reopening. So we might be wondering why markets are dipping today. Actually, they're up a little bit up today, but I don't know if you caught a whiff of anything that Trump was saying. I caught a little bit of it. Trump crypto announcement shakes the market. Trump's speech state policy firestorm. Donald Trump declared the arrival of a so-called golden age of America while outlining an aggressive policy agenda that rattled both domestic and international observers. He threatened sweeping tariffs on Russia unless Moscow ends the war in Ukraine, a move he urged Europe to support, while doubling down on alignment with Israel by rejecting Palestinian statehood until hostages are released. And it looks like Canada is going in the exact opposite direction. Beyond foreign policy, Trump pushed a hardline stance on migration, previewing the new asylum restrictions that would mark one of the strictest shifts in decades. The political weight of this speech reverberated across markets already sensitive to geopolitical shocks. For investors, this serves as a reminder that global policy risks remain as influential to capital flows as economic data or corporate earnings. I think that is a good thing, and you can cry and bitch and moan about it as much as you can. Illegal migration is not a good thing. It's harming nations. It's like messing up with the ecosystem of the human world, man. You don't introduce frogs into an environment that isn't suitable for frogs, because then they overrun the environment and disrupt the ecosystem. Things like that are fragile. Controlled migration, fine. Mass migration, completely stupid, and that's what Canada's doing right now. Goldman Sachs abruptly raises S&P 500 price target, cites accommodative Fed policies. A team of analysts led by David Costin, Goldman's chief U.S. security strategist, predicts the S&P will witness returns of 2%, 5%, and 8% over the next 12 months. So 2 over the 3 months, 5% over 6 months, 12% over, or 8% over 12 months. And that is most likely based on the idea of the FOMC announcements for rate cuts. The Fed Open Market Committee cut the federal funds rate by 25 basis points last week, and traders believe it's likely the Federal Reserve will cut rates again at each of its final 2 FOMC meetings of the year. Just then, according to Bitcoin archives, October rate cut odds rise to 94%. Sam Bankman-Fried sudden GM lifts FTT token as FTX set to repay 1.6 billion. Yesterday, SBF tweeted a GM, and apparently that sent the FTT token flying a little bit. Despite the fact that he's got prison restrictions, he still gets occasional access to his little phone, so he can send out GMs. And as I was saying at the beginning, I mean, things are not looking good for SBF. Sam either. What? A simple reply by crypto influencer Gainsey pretty much summed up the sentiment when the notorious convicted fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried, or as SBF, seemingly posted on social media after a long hiatus. This is the perception that the community has of him, notorious convicted fraudster. So his comeback is going to be hard-earned, if at all. To make matters worse, the token linked to defunct crypto exchange FTX surged nearly 24% in the last 24 hours after his X account posted a simple GM on Tuesday. This is the link. But MoonPay is having none of it. MoonPay posted a tweet saying they blocked SBF, and of course the comments began flying. Who is he? Bro blocked you from prison. Why this post? This guy completely misunderstood the meaning, dude. He didn't block, he is blocked. SBF FTX is blocked, man. Some people just don't know how to read posts. Why this post? This dude took 50 grand from me. Thank you for doing this. I think everyone in crypto community should block SBF. So yeah, SBF isn't going here to have a hard time doing anything in crypto after his little stint and after return into the public eye. Ethereum just took back the USDT crown for the first time since 2022. More USDT sits on Ethereum, about 60.8 billion, than on Tron, where with 58.1 billion. Feels like the tide is turning towards ETH. I think it's about time. Who's Tron? Is anybody trading Tron? No idea. Billionaire Ray Dalio says classic 1930s style currency devaluation underway, making gold more attractive. Just to be clear, like, this is probably understood anyway, but the reason why gold and Bitcoin are on the rise is because, not so much because they're gaining in value, but the dollar is being devalued. The dollar is losing value, which is why the prices for these assets are going up. But billionaire Ray Dalio says that fiat currencies like the US dollar are entering a classic devaluation period, making gold more attractive. He says that the US dollar will likely continue to weaken amid worsening economic conditions, while gold will rally as investors use the precious metal as a hedge. He compares the US dollar's current weakness to other periods in US history when the greenback plummeted in value, including the 1930s during the Great Depression, and the 70s, a period of high inflation. According to Dalio, he thinks that we're looking at something like a very classic devaluation, somewhat similar to the 70s or 30s, in which the fiat currencies are all devalued together in relationship to non-fiat currencies, meaning gold and Bitcoin in this particular case. Gold is hovering at around 3,740 per ounce at the time of writing, up more than 40% in the past year. And South Korea nabs crypto investor who intended to return embezzled church funds. South Korean investor nabbed for embezzlement, another crypto fugitive in his 60s, was arrested in Seoul. A church office manager reportedly embezzled approximately 480 million won in church donations over several months. Authorities believe Mr. A may have been deceived by an investment regarding room fraud scheme. The arrest comes weeks after South Korean police nabbed an alleged cryptocurrency scammer for littering near a train station in Seoul. A man in his 60s who was serving as the financial manager for a Catholic church in Mokpo, South Jeolla Province, South Korea, has been arrested by local police on suspicion of embezzling millions of won in donor funds from around 1,000 parishioners over a period of months. He reportedly embezzled approximately 344,000 in donor funds, which were intended for the construction of a new church building. Mokpo Police Department in South Jeolla Province announced it had requested an arrest warrant for him on September 24th. Maybe he was trying to double his gain and build a bigger church. Maybe he was doing it with good intentions. It's possible. I mean, it is possible. And BlackRock, man, this is funny as hell. BlackRock is now making 280 million per year from its Bitcoin ETF. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Take something that the public has made, that the public has, you know, tested out, and then laugh your ass silly all the way to the bank, making 218 million, while the plebs rush to throw their money at the guy who said, you know, it's paper money, it's a scam, it's worth nothing, our investors don't want any of it. Apparently, people are throwing money at BlackRock and hailing BlackRock as the savior of all finances. US M2 money supply just hit a record 22 trillion. They can print dollars forever. They can never print more Bitcoin. And with the rate cuts coming in, more printage is going to come in, more pumpage is going to come in. So the predictions of Bitcoin going to $1 million are based on the fact that the money printers never stop. They will continue printing money, and we will enter the phase of interstellar existence when Elon Musk, with his Mars missions, finally digs up the first treasures either on Mars or the, you know, flybys of asteroids, and turns that into billions. They're gonna have to into quadrillions, most likely. They're gonna have to print more money, and we're going to see the wealth of which we only saw so far in the movies like Star Wars and Star Trek, where and Alien more recently, Alien Earth. If you're not watching that series on Disney, I mean, forget Disney, but if you're not watching Alien Earth, man, you should be. It's a pretty interesting series if you're interested, if you're into the Alien series altogether. But I've always looked at like these oligarchs that are running the world in these movie series, because I mean, flying around, you know, stars and universes, skipping time, skipping through the space in high-tech ships takes money, and so that money comes from somewhere, and there's only going to be a handful of people with access to that kind of money, and this is how it's going to happen. So in my view, so we're going to see the likes of Star Wars society, the society that we see in Star Wars and Star Trek. This is what's going to happen over time, not next year obviously, but within the next 100 years or so. That's where we're going to see quadrillionaires just living their lives while we plebs slave away on the destroyed Earth, or something of that sort, dystopian future. Please make sure to smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Also, please do remember to pick up a copy of Crypto and Millennials, because that's on sale right now. It helps support the channel. It helps me. It gives me motivation to continue with the channel and continue with the content that I create. This is a fantastic read. I promise you, you won't regret it. 188 pages of pure gold. Speaking of gold, Crypto and Millennials, pick it up right now on Amazon. Once again, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic Thursday. See you on Friday. Peace.